Hello everyone, my name is Coco Ramgopal, and for my Germany in 5 words video presentation, I will be talking about the German word Umwelt and how it relates to the 2013 article called Europe Gone Wild, Back to Nature on the Continent. When directly translated from German to English, the word Umwelt quite literally means environment or surroundings. But the deeper meaning of the term Umwelt is an organism's unique sensory response to its environment. In other words, it is the phenomenon of how each individual uniquely perceives and experiences their given surroundings. The article, Back to Nature on the Continent, is about the effort by conservationists to restore the wilderness and wildlife of Europe. It also addresses the conflict that has arisen due to the varying interpretations of the term wilderness and the efforts to execute this conservation. This environmental project is called the Rewilding Europe Project, with its main effort centered around getting the key grazing animals, such as wild horses, viscent, and red deer, to return to their original habitats. With the reintroduction of these key species into their original wilderness, the Rewilding Project is hoping that an increase in overall biodiversity will develop as a consequence. What has made this project possible is the increasing urbanization of Europe and the decrease of rural communities, which has left stretches of land abandoned and open for rewilding and conservation. According to studies, the amount of abandoned land in Europe is only going to go up in the next few decades. The rewilding effort not only hopes to see environmental improvements by getting animals to return back to their natural habitats, but they also hope that such actions will result in economic benefits by boosting ecotourism. By restoring the wilderness of Europe, many countries are helping to boost their revenue in more ways than one. If the rewilding efforts continue to go as planned, ecotourism will be restored, which would benefit the government as well as private tourist groups. The potential of hunting being allowed would also increase revenue. While the majority of land would be preserved, no hunting zones, the animals that wander past these guarded zones are fair game for hunting, which could provide revenue for locals who hunt them or for those who wish to engage in hunting tourism. With their recent candidate status with Rewilding Europe, Mecklenburg, Western Pomerania in Germany is hoping to create a new source of revenue by developing a safari tourism industry around the Oder Delta. By developing more conservation zones and increasing biodiversity, Germany is not only making environmental strides, but also developing the start of a new form of tourism that would bring about socioeconomic benefit. While the Rewilding Europe project exhibits great potential, there is still much debate due to conflicting perceptions on the definition of the word wilderness. Many conservationists have expressed that wilderness is about conserving the flora and forests of the landscapes and less about the animals. They feel as though forests and plants are the main source of wilderness, and have expressed the opinion that the rewilding efforts are turning wilderness landscapes into zoos. Conservationists have also conveyed skepticism regarding the efficiency of rewilding in terms of mitigating large-scale deforestation and intrusion. Others wish to see more progressive takes on the term wilderness, where we allow ecosystems and zones to work naturally without interruption in order to better understand how they work naturally without human intervention. The German word Umwelt most definitely relates to the topic of the rewilding project in Europe. In a literal sense, the article and its topic relate because the rewildering efforts relate to transforming the environment to contain more biodiversity and conserving surroundings in an eco-friendly manner. The topic and debate regarding rewilding efforts also greatly relates to Umwelt's deeper meaning, which is how each individual has a certain unique perception of their environment and surrounding. This is clearly evident in the article regarding the debate over what should be prioritized when it comes to conservation and the concept of wilderness. As mentioned earlier, there are a variety of debates regarding rewildering and wilderness conservation in general. There are a variety of stakeholders that are affected by rewildering efforts, such as the government, conservationists, animal rights activists, scientists, tourists, local residents, and of course the animals, each of whom perceive the efforts to transform and shape their surroundings differently. There is a clear struggle to find a balance between prioritizing animals versus plants and forests, between balancing environmental conservation and socioeconomic benefits, and between balancing extreme human intervention in the wilderness and no human intervention at all. These differing opinions are a clear example of the term Umwelt in terms of unique perceptions of one's environment.